Colorado, the Buffs are in the top 25. You heard correct. The Buffs are in the top 25 after their upset win over TCU. Let's talk about it and how some of those former JSU stars helped this happen. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload all the time. Now, we know the Colorado football has taken the world by storm. They won their opening game on Fox, primetime, big noon kickoff, first big noon kickoff of the season. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt calling the game 45-42 over number 17 TCU. And because of that win over the number 17 team, TCU on the road, first week of the season, the Buffs are now ranked. I'm going to take you to a tweet. This is the top 25 AP poll presented by the Associated Press. And this is what it looks like. Oh, there we go. The Colorado Buffaloes, if you look down there at number 22, coming in right behind number 21, Duke, who also had a big upset over the weekend, over Labor Day, over Clemson. The Buffs are right there, led by former Jackson State quarterback, now current Colorado quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, led by former Jackson State all-century athlete, Travis Hunter, now Colorado all-century athlete, and a guy who's a lot of people probably didn't expect to get in on the scoring action week 1 of the season, and that is former all-SWAC running back Sy'Veon Wilkerson. Now, I wouldn't be bringing this up if the players didn't bring this up. I wouldn't be talking about this if the players didn't specifically talk about this, specifically Shedeur and Travis. They talked about how they were discredited and they were looked down upon. And a lot of people didn't think they would be able to come in and do the things that they're currently doing because of the program that they came from. You know, obviously they came from the FCS ranks. Obviously they came from the HBCU ranks. Obviously they came from Jackson State. And both Shedeur and Travis had made it their mission. See, they knew that they were pros even at Jackson State. Even if the rest of the country, even if the rest of the world didn't know that those dudes were future pros. I've been saying it, if you listen to this platform over the last year or so, I've been saying it on this platform, that both of those guys are going to be playing in the NFL. Travis was a first-round pick. I knew that even after a freshman year. It was about how high in the first round will he go. Shedeur, I knew, was at the very latest, a second-round pick. But it's about how high he can lift his draft stock. Can Travis lift his to a top 3 pick? Can Shedeur lift his to the first round and then to the top of the first round? That's what I said going to Colorado would do for those two guys. It wasn't about proving that they were pros. It wasn't about proving that they could play at the next level. It wasn't about whether they were good enough to play at the level of a Pac-12 or at the FBS. That, if you just cut on the tape, you knew that was possible. That, if you just cut on the tape, you knew that was the case. You already knew that. It's just about how high would these guys be able to, move themselves up. Can Travis get himself to what his Coach Prime believes he can be the number 1 overall pick? He has the talent. Can he do it? Can he prove it on the field? Can Shedeur get himself? Now everybody thinks he's a first-round pick. Now it's about how high in the first round can he elevate himself? Can he elevate himself to a top 15 pick? Can he elevate himself to a top 10 pick? Can he elevate himself to a top 5 pick? Now this is what we're cooking with now. And can he do all of that this year? Because you see, Shedeur at the end of this season will be draft eligible. Can he do all of that this year? It's a big question. Travis, on the other hand, will have to stay another year. But even with knowing that, can he go into next year as the presumptive number 1 overall pick? Or do they both go into next year, say Shedeur decides to come back, can they both lift their draft stock to the presumptive, both being presumptive top 5 picks, top 3 picks in the NFL draft? We know quarterbacks always get elevated high because every team needs a quarterback. And so that helps Shedeur in that case, as long as he continues to play well, which I believe he will. These are all things now being talked about. These are all things now being discussed on multiple platforms, and rightfully so. But this is what happens when you bring in a boatload of talent and you shock people because they did not expect you to go down to TCU, to Fort Worth against a ranked team, big noon kickoff, Fox's game of the week, and get a 40 and score 45 points and get a win. Score 45 points and walk away, fly back home to Boulder 1-0 and not 0-1. And I want to give a special shout out, man, Sy'Veon Wilkerson. Sy'Veon Wilkerson went to Colorado after spring, so he didn't get the spring ball like the rest of those guys. Went to CU after spring. CU had what seemed to be a very, very loaded running back room. We see what Dylan Edwards can do. He's a star. Alton, the guy coming off an injury, he was a star at Houston. Cavassier Smoke was a big-time rotational player at Kentucky. And knowing all of that, Sy'Veon still somehow, some way, makes his way to CU, makes his way to Colorado, and Hankerson, who had a good showing in their spring game. And all Sy'Veon Wilkerson is able to do is to bust up in that lineup, bust up that depth chart, and score the first rushing touchdown for the Buffs this year. That is impressive. Shout out to Sy'Veon for making that happen because that's tough. That's very tough to do. You got to think. All of those dudes were ahead of Sy'Veon. All of those dudes had made it to Colorado before Sy'Veon. All of those guys, people expect to hear their names called before Sy'Veon. That's Dylan Edwards. That's Alton. That's Cavassier Smoke. That's Hankerson. Sy'Veon was essentially coming in fifth on the depth chart. And all he's able to do is somehow, some way, score the first rushing touchdown for Colorado this season. It's pretty impressive from the former all-SWAC running back. Shout out to Sy'Veon, man, friend of the show. So I just want to give those guys their credit. I want to give those guys credit for continuing to, let the world know that they did come from an HBCU. Shedeur Sanders specifically talking about the differences between FCS ball and FBS ball. And that's huge. That is huge. No matter if nobody else does it, no matter if some people are trying to make fun of it, saying that those guys went to a JUCO and all that goofy stuff, even with the goofies out there, those guys are putting on. Those guys are still showing love to their former school. I know Shedeur is. Shilo always does. He's an alum of Jackson State. And it's good to see those guys go out there and have success. Because I know the folks at Jackson State are rooting for their success, whether people believe it or not, whether people think that the folks in Jackson are just that upset. No, they are rooting for the success of Shedeur. They are rooting for the success of Shilo. And I forgot to bring up Shilo. Shilo led the team. He missed some tackles, but he led the team with 10 total tackles, led the Buffs defense. So you got Shilo led the team in tackles. Shedeur set the Colorado school record. Travis is just all world. 11 catches, 120 yards, and an interception. And then Sy'Veon Wilkerson had the first rushing touchdown of the Colorado season. All of those former JSU stars starring at the level in the Pac-12 for Colorado. And it's awesome to see. So shout out to those guys, man, getting that first win of the season, becoming ranked. And now you got to do it all over again against Nebraska. But this time you get to do it at home. And I know they'll have a really, really big showing. As great as the numbers were for the recap videos, for all the videos that people did, for the actual ratings of Fox that day, all of those numbers are going to balloon in week 2 because people may not have known that Colorado was going to do what they did in week 1. They're going to be expecting another big-time performance from them in week 2 against Nebraska. But shout out to those guys, Shilo, Shedeur, Travis, and Sy'Veon. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Colorado is ranked in the top 25 at number 22 after their opening weekend win. My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload all the time. See you guys next time. Peace.